Alright, so my 9 and 10 is broken and now I have to try and fix it. Okay, so on today we are going to do an autopsy on my KH910 and figure out why it's mispatterning. Step 1. Insert my part. One, 8, 1, 4, ready to go. Card 2. Outside the turn mark, the KC. We'll go 30 to 30. There's no bounce in the sponge bar, so I'm going to make the assumption it's okay. Going to go across. I get good pattern going to the right. Bad pattern going to the left. That's row 2. I'm going to reset my row counter. Row 3. Good pattern. Row 4, bad pattern. 5, good pattern. 6, bad pattern. 7, good pattern. Suddenly, row 8, I get good pattern. Why? I'm now going to go to service manual page 8, where it says to do something different. So I'm going to bring that up on my computer, give it a read, and then we'll come back. Okay, so let's do a little read here. Set the change knob to KC2. Move the K carriage across and back slowly or quickly to check the needle selector mechanism. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go carriage reversed, turn this off, and remove the mylar. I'm going to go outside the turn mark, KC2, come back. It is a little bit hard to push. And what I see when I pull the carriage across is my needles are jumping. You can hear it because it's a different sound. And now we will read some more. If some needles don't go to D, no, they all went to at least D position. Timing belt and the rotary encoder assembly, the rotary encoder assembly and the rotary cam are not in the right relative position. Nope. Now we don't have to remount and adjust. Card reader guide stopper is not mounted correctly, and the position of the rotary cam. Nope, we don't have that problem. But the problem we did have is part 2. Some needles do not come out to D position, but are selected in the 8th or 16th cycle. The rotary cam lever and the needle selector plate operation lever are not in the right relative position. Be sure to place NSP operation lever on the left side of the rotary cam lever. Squeeze between the rotary cam lever and the rotary cam lever guide. The rotary cam lever does not move smoothly. Figure 12. Squeeze between the armature and the solenoid yoke of the needle selector solenoid. The armature does not move smoothly, but put the specified grease in the armature sliding parts of the solenoid yoke, and the spring for the armature is broken. Replace the spring with a new one. Now you look at this wonderful little graphic and where is it? Nobody knows. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the needles back and we're going to open this baby up and see what is inside this cover. Okay, start with the screwdriver. And we're going to start on this side. First rule of thumb with the KH910, unplug it. Okay, we've got no power. Now, you need to look at this puzzle piece. Very carefully remove the lid. Okay, no wires are on it. Rotary cam. There's one more solenoid there. Okay. Again, there's nothing connected there. Okay, so this little stepping motor is not listed. We're looking for something that looks like a little spring and a little armature. It might be under the Mylar reader, because there's the needle butts. Okay, let's open up this part. Gently. There's wires connected. You don't want to discombobulate them. Okay. So we're looking for something that looks like this. S11. If you've never opened up a 910, let's give you some close-ups. Okay, so if you have to replace the belt, there are two screws right in here, which you access by rotating the belt, which release the pressure on this wheel, and you can push it in to relieve the pressure on the belt, and then that will help the belt go together. In this specific 910, the belt is actually on the right direction. Rare. This is an S7. This is your sensor for your turnaround. We have S6 connects to down here. S5 goes all the way around to, let me see here, the Mylar reader. 3, you can trace it down, comes over here. S2, again, another large one, goes down behind underneath, and it comes out again over here. There's another sensor cam here. It is soldered to this board up here, which is also soldered to the Mylar reader. There's some CH501 and VR501 are always listed on the, what is that thing called? Listed in the service manual, and those are places where you need to check for voltage. I'm not doing that today. I'm just figuring out where I get to grease the rotary cam. So I got to find it in here. It might be with this little stepping motor over here. I got to find my paperwork again, and then we'll check that out. So I'm looking for an armature and a spring. And a solenoid yoke. I don't see one. Mylar reader. I know it's not on the chipset. It has to be in here. Unless it means under the machine itself. This is a conundrum for sure. Now I know I have had the Mylar reader out before, and I want to make sure when doing this autopsy that I do not hurt it. Okay, we're going to do a full stop, and I'm going to go look at my box of parts and see if I can find this part. I think I found the photo. So here we have those little springs. So it is this part that I am looking for inside my 910. Not quite sure how it works, but it does say to oil in special spots. So specified grease would be something that affects these teeth. And you can see on this one how they are fairly loose, right? So where would that be in here? I'm thinking underneath the Mylar reader, I think. So let's put this down here. Let's look in here. And you can kind of see just inside this little lip here, those teeth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to very carefully remove my Mylar reader again, and I'm going to take a look inside. It's because, well, this is the autopsy of my broken 910. And if you're wondering where these parts came from, another 910. So let's look at the busted rotary cam. You can see how this looks like that one. So I'm going to make the assumption that the issue is in here where it needs grease, because this part would be on top of this part, and they would logically push these up. Now you can see why this 910 died. Somebody got a lot of grease or coffee or God knows what on their machine. So these two pieces go together. As this rotates, the things go up and down. So it would need a little bit of grease. And these little fingers would need a little bit of grease. That way they move. But you don't want to grease right next to the little chipsets here. So I'm glad that I have the ability to take these things apart when they're dead and show you guys basically how they work. I believe this is another chipset similar to the 910. You can see how things kind of go in there. I'm not taking it out of the bag today. Shorts out fuse checked October of 09. So this one's been out of a machine for quite a while. You can see that there's a little ribbon thing that you got to be very careful of, that you don't rip. So we try and be very careful when taking these things out. And I'm definitely not putting this one back in the machine, but it is one of my learning tools. What else can I say here? I'm going to stop this video and then we will restart from a different angle. So this little piece is actually underneath that rotary cam. So I think it's pretty cool. And it is connected somehow to the bed. I don't remember how. And yeah, so there's a little bit of another piece that I'm not going to talk about anymore because I don't know exactly what it does. Okay, I would normally just dive in and go crazy, but this one isn't broken. It's just broken. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to very carefully remove the parts on the chipset that I don't need to look at. So very gently disconnecting. Sometimes they are a little tricky. And there you go, chipset is disconnected. Now I'm going to trace the numerous ribbons back to their friends. Okay, so I'm going to need this one, and this one. So these three, that one's fine, and this one. Okay, so I have these four. However, S11 here is connected right here. So I have to be careful of S11. And then I have another one, not sure what its number is, but I also have to be careful of that one. Whew. Got my tool. Snap the zip tie. Down, looking at this all. Okay, so S11's got to come up. Underneath all these ribbons. Going to very carefully weave them back through. It is S8 is interfering. So remove S8. Okay. Bring these back this way. Untangle them. Okay, so now we're all fine. I have another zip tie down here. I'm cutting it. Not a big deal. I need to very carefully lift. Lift this tab. Or do I? Oh, maybe not. Okay. This little tabby came right off. I'll feel better if I do that. So I'm going to lift them. Remove the ribbon. Okay, I'll lift them all the way. Carefully remove the ribbon. Okay, you want to make sure that we don't bend that too far. Put its ribbon to the side. Okay. This one is connected here. Screwdriver, removing these 2 screws. 1, 2. Lift. Okay, make another one. This is screw number 3. Okay, does that move? Okay, that moves. Now it is connected down here on the sensor. Number 4. Carefully. They're all the same size screw. Just going to lift this up and put it to the side. Okay, so that entire section is now safe. Ignore that noise, that is the dog going in and out. I now need to remove my Mylar reader. 1 second, please. Thank you. Okay, so a Mylar reader should be this screw. I'm going to put it up on the needle bed, and this screw up on the needle bed. Okay. Oh, I'm missing one. Where am I? Hang on. Something is holding it. Okay. That one stays there. Okay. Not sure. Oh, okay. I see the other screw. It is in behind. Got it. Okay, so there's 3 screws that were holding that. Now we got them. Okay, we need to be very gentle. Tilt up, and here is our target. So we're going to move the Mylar reader over. Do not touch the Mylar reader with your fingers. But look at the mess. Okay. Rotate this. Rotating with. All right, so it should have a memorized pattern inside. So we are going to move our Mylar reader to a safe location. Again, we are not touching it. Okay, I'm moving my 3 screws down and that little plate. Now I'm going to bring my carriage back, mount it, bring forward, and now you can see that they all move. I don't see anywhere where any of those springs do not engage. Right? They all seem to. Really? That's kind of cool. So it's said to grease the little fingers. So let's do that while we're here. Let me find my grease. I use a more solid grease. And you can see how this is all yellow. So while they're up. Oh, 1 second. Okay, so while I was chatting on the phone, I accidentally touched the old grease, and you can see how yucky it was. So I'm going to grease again. As you can see, I am not spraying anything in here because in behind and underneath this little bunch of machinery is another chipset. And I think if you are not careful with that chipset, you are going to have a very bad day. Okay. I think we got it pretty good. Nothing is dripping anywhere. Everything seems clean. Clean that up a little bit more. Gonna go on the other side of the belt. Clean that channel. I do not see any more dust or debris. So now we will see about putting this back together carefully. And see if it works any better. You never know, just might. So, where did we stop and where do we start? Well, we know that we need to put the Mylar reader back in. All right, in the next video, we will start reassembling this thing.